Hold up. Hold up. Oh, snap. Oh, snap. I'm excited. Okay, there's a lot of, I'm feeling a lot of things right now. Listen. It's perfect for you.
She's like singing out of my soul. Sometimes we get lost in our own little world, but it's all so much bigger than we realize.
Hey, everybody, welcome back. Excited to bring you a rock band from the UK. I'm excited because I have a feeling this is going to be really special. I want to check out a rock band from the UK called Collateral and their song Glass Sky. It's been getting a lot of traffic. Are you ready? So make sure to subscribe here. Go check out Collateral and subscribe to their YouTube channel and enjoy this ride with me.
And now we know we're not alone. Out of the shadows, we'll be coming home. And now we know we're not alone. Out of the shadows, we'll be coming home.
All right, I'm going to stop at the drop. Let me go back. I'll start over. Listen. Already from the get-go, the way that the drums are coming in with that electric guitar, fierce from the start. You never know what you're going to get with some of these songs, right? Sometimes it starts slow and then the crescendo kicks in later and you have this build after the first verse, ideally not too late in the song or people's attention is lost, right? Sometimes you have masterpieces where there's this ride where you experience various elements. Yet again, sometimes it's verse, chorus, and done. But here, from the get-go, they came in strong. The visuals, as you guys know, I love diving into the psychology and the things that impress us, that influence us as people, our emotions, what we think, the way we perceive things is not just a matter of what we hear, but also what we see, our experiences in life. And the visuals here are really dope already. That walking in the water, in the rain gushing down on their faces, right? Saliva dripping. It's raw and it's real. Like when you're out in the pouring rain or you're just standing out there, different ways to interpret that. But to me, it's just a human, real and raw experience from the get-go. Also, side note, that hook, la 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 la, it's really, really catchy. And that makes for good songwriting too. I've said it before. When you have a good hook, something catchy that repeats, I feel like that makes for good songwriting and it catches people's attention because it gets stuck in your head. So that being said, let me start over. Yeah, I have so many thoughts. Let's keep going.
And now we know we're not alone. Out of the shadows, we'll be coming home. And now we know we're not alone. Out of the shadows, we'll be coming home. We walking alone. Cause every night just a different story. Been living a lie so long just to tear it down. Set fire to your silver throne. Got a golden one waiting for me. Found keys to the kingdom just to lock you out. One of these days I'm gonna break through. Till now I've been lost, been living a different story. This time, no doubt, slow down to see more clearly. One by one, we'll take you home. When I finally break this clear sky, clear sky.
Hold up. Hold up. Oh, snap. Oh, snap. I'm excited. Okay, there's a lot of, I'm feeling a lot of things right now. Listen, the vibe I'm getting, even so far, it makes me think of elements of classic rock. And this is an awesome genre of rock or subgenre of rock when we talk about the whole rock world, right? Every genre is not just to be generalized, right? We find similarities and we try to generalize music genres to communicate what we're saying and what we're talking about. But even within various genres, there's a lot of subgenres and they are different and they have unique characteristics. Even here, this type of rock, to me, has elements, reminds me of that classic rock vibe. And it could also be, it's the presentation to a degree, right? The rain, just the long hair, that full on rocker vibe, right? Dudes beating their heart out on the drums and just playing that electric guitar like it's the last time. I mean, just a lot of fire. But growing up, I didn't listen to classical rock much at all, ever. I love rock bands like Paramore, Evanescence, Red, right? I didn't mind heavier rock, but never really got into metal, and classic rock was just not my thing. Here, I feel like it's this amazing marriage between elements of classic rock, bringing in some of that nostalgic feeling that classic rock has for people, but also coming in with a lot of fresh energy. And it's cool when two worlds combine like that, in my opinion, right? You have the generations that are diehard fans for these various classic rock bands. Then you have people that are all about the new. I feel like this is just a perfect blend of a lot of fresh energy and still a nod to classic rock and to what good rock music is all about. The way that they're going ham on that electric guitar and the drums is amazing. His voice, by the way, is dope. What he just did, and I'm going to have to go back when the chorus starts. He did a run in there somewhere. That surprised me, because when I think rock, most of the time I think of rasp. I think of, well, for metal, screaming. And I'm learning, obviously, that that's not the case, that not all metal is created equal, neither is all rock. But oftentimes I would think, okay, there's going to be rasp, there's going to be intensity. And he does have that rasp, that sultry rasp that is fitting to rock, right? For that delivery, the passion, right? But he did a run in there a couple of times that added a level of soul to me that made me think, oh snap. It shows his vocal abilities, shows some vocal skills, but it also added color and flavor to his singing. It just got my attention, fresh and new in their own right. And I dig that. I don't know Collateral's music. Otherwise, I'm going to have to explore their discography. But to me, that says, we're the new kids on the block. We got something fresh for you. And I appreciate that. Angelo Tristan is the lead vocals and guitar. Todd Winger is the guitarist. Jack Bentley Smith on bass. Ben Atkinson on drums. They're good. Okay, and so, cool. It even says it here. The 4 players come from backgrounds in 80s rock, country music, southern rock, and metal. Making for a strong and varied original sound. See, that's what I'm saying. I do get that 80s feel, but they're bringing in such a fresh wind that people like me, though I'm an 80s baby, not really having listened to much classic rock back in the day, I'm opening my mind to that world. It's I don't know, y'all feeling what I'm saying? There's something really fresh here. It's awesome. But I want to go back to the chorus.
Till now, I've been lost, been living a different story. This time, no doubt, slow down to see more clearly. One by one, we'll take you home when I finally break this clear sky.
The harmonies are dope.
Clear sky. And now we know we're not alone. Out of the shadows, we'll be coming home. Gotta weather the storm. Better run when the flood keeps rising. Got a ringing in my ears. So sick of it sounding the same. All eyes on the same old road. Got another lane waiting for me. Hey you, are you listening? I'm a hurricane coming your way. One of these days, I'm gonna break through. Till now, I've been lost, been living a different story. This time, no doubt, slow down to see more clearly. One by one, we'll take you home when I finally break this clear sky. Clear sky. Clear
This is flippin' epic. Oh my gosh. I need to listen to this again, people. Listen. When people make suggestions and songs are brought to my attention, artists and songs, you never know what you're going to get. Even with mainstream or big artists that already have millions of views, you never know, right? There's songs out there that I like more than others. And in my reactions, I promised you real talk, real reactions. I want to dive deep into the psychology, and we will in just a second. But hear me out. You never know what you're going to get. And in that desire to react, to be real about it, to explore and analyze, it's very possible that you stumble on something where you have to look really hard to find something you like. You don't want to be critical for no reason. If criticism, then constructive. You want to be understanding of why people may love something. I would try to keep an open mind. There's so many elements, especially because music is art and we all perceive it differently. But I listen to this and I'm thinking to myself, these dudes are turning me on to classic rock in a way that I have never experienced before. And again, as I said before, it's because it's this way fresh style that I don't feel like I've heard before. And I've listened to all kinds of different rock. I'm getting used to various metal, right? We've been exploring some of the screaming and some of that crazy, from Ginger to Bloody Wood to the symphonic metal through Nightwish, right? You got the type of rock that I'd listen to back in the day or still at times, Paramore, Red, Thrice. I don't mind getting intense and hype and I don't even mind certain screaming or intensity, but I always preferred the melodic. I always preferred to understand what's being sung. Yeah, I was just, specific with certain styles. But classic rock was never really, that 80s rock was never really a big part of my influence. These guys are bringing it with such a fresh vibe that I feel like both the older generations and people that grew up on that are diehard 80s rock fans, to the younger generations that don't tap into that type of stuff. I feel like this band can bring together those various generations and give that fresh flair to classic rock, but still bringing in their own soul. The visual presentation was well done. It really gave that 80s flair, but it was still fierce, okay? I had a laugh earlier when he was like down on the ground in the rain, because it has that movie or music video vibe that you sometimes saw in the 80s and 90s, the women just throwing their head back in the rain. I think it's endearing and nostalgic to many of us because we've seen those type of clips. We get that nod to history, but it's still done in a tasteful and powerful way. The presentation, the cinematography was fierce. And we'll talk about the lyrics in a second, but it was fierce and it fit to what he's singing, right? We're not alone, out of the shadows, we're coming home. It's this idea of, I'm going to break free. And it's awesome to see that it was all done in pouring rain versus, since the title is called Glass Sky, versus out under a sky or some type of, AI construct, including glass of some shape or form, but rain. And the cool thing is when I see rain falling like that, clear water just pouring down, to me, I'm thinking that works with glass too. That works with breaking through something. And, again, different ways we can interpret that. Sometimes people dancing in the rain is this concept of liberation, joy, and freedom. For others, it's depressing, right? Oh my gosh, when it rains, it pours, right? We have idioms where we use this concept of rain in a negative way. It's something bad. Rain, while it could seem like it's something that's making you soaking wet, you're out in the cold now. Kind of hoping it was warm water for them because I don't know how many takes this took, but they did an amazing job. But here, to me, it's more of this empowering concept of breaking through something, not giving in, no matter how soaked you get, no matter how great the obstacle, you're going to keep going for it. I mean, imagine being out in the pouring rain. Most people want to escape that. We have our umbrellas and our raincoats, or we run to get out of the cold and wet. Imagine a band out there like these dudes just playing their heart out, saying, I'm coming out of the shadows. That's fire, right? A lot of us may stop and go, yes, like I'm not going to run away from the things that make me uncomfortable, because rain often does. So it was cool to have that clear water, the cinematography, and the concept of glass. I like when we have elements, because music, again, is art, when we have elements of art that seem not contradictory at all, because the idea of glass and rain isn't contradictory, but they're not as simple to decipher, okay? If I sing about sunshine and now I have a music video with sunshine, it's like, well, it's simple. It's like, it's a given. Okay. So she Sang about sun, and there was sunshine in her video. Duh, right? But if you use other elements that still kind of work with what you're singing about, to me, that's more artistic, and I like that. Angelo's voice is fire, that rasp, that sultriness, but still bringing in those runs. The range, y'all. I don't know if you saw on my face, but a couple of times when he shot high was crazy. I want to go back to the band members again, and Collateral band members. The bassist, Jack Bentley Smith, and I hope I'm saying their name right, and then Todd on the guitar and Ben on the drums. They were going ham. That guitar solo, people, ooh, I am learning to appreciate guitar solos like that and drum solos more and more. The drums, Ben carried that from the get-go. This song would have had a way different delivery if the drums wouldn't have come in so fierce with such precision. It was amazing. But even Todd and Jack, the way that the guitar solos and the guitar riffs and the bass riffs carry a song, we forget that, right? We take those things for granted unless we're musicians or we're music connoisseurs, if you will. People take that for granted. We listen to a song, and in a swipe culture, the swulture as I call it, you swipe, you hear something you like, you might dance to it a bit, and you move on. We don't actually slow down long enough, some don't, to take it apart and go, let me pay attention to the various elements, from the vocals to the guitar, to the various guitars, to the texture and the sound that both the acoustic or an electric guitar create, the drums, right? Are we talking percussion? Are we talking a full drum set, full drum kit? Are we talking electronic elements, right? There's even keyboards versus like grand pianos, various sounds, various emotions. And I want to give credit where credit is due. These guys, each in their own field of expertise, together brought a fierce track. And it would have not been the same if one of them were missing, right? It wouldn't be the same if you just have vocals. As amazing as Angelo's vocals are, the guitar, the drums, the bass carry this, and they make it this amazing track. And that's, I think, something that needs to be appreciated when it comes to music, realizing it's the various strokes. Just to use that art reference again, right? If we're talking of a painting, it's the various strokes, it's the size of the paintbrush, it's the shade of color, it's the hues and the shadows that make something beautiful and dynamic and that make it come alive. And that's what's happening here, in my opinion. Skilled musicians that came together. And I will say, beyond just being skilled at what they do and the visual presentation being fun and being fierce, being able to create a song, but also having empowering lyrics, I appreciate that. It's one thing to have a good track and then you just sing Kumbaya. I mean, there's literally songs out there about poop that are watched or listened to millions of times. You got stuff that's about animals we find in the sea. I'm not going to name things by name, right? Or songs that kids will listen to, and then various remixes are made and they make millions, and it's all fine and fun and dandy to a degree, but a lot of art doesn't get the traffic it deserves. So on that note, subscribe to Collateral. Go check them out. I'll tag this song and I'll tag the band. I already subscribed. Plus, it's fun when you subscribe to channels because you get that little bloop, colorful thing happening. But subscribe to them. Support these guys. Don't just listen to their music and consume. Actually support them. These type of things go way further than we realize. The fact that you have a song that is amazing in musical composition, but also now having lyrics that have some type of substance or meaning, I appreciate that. And we'll talk about those in a second. And then lastly, before we dive into that psychology, that hook, both in the beginning, We're Not Alone, and then later on in the chorus, those were some good hooks. I mean, as a songwriter myself, I'm so excited when I find a good hook that is something that you can build on. You can write the song around, or that gets stuck in your head, or that's fun to sing on repeat. And they came up with some amazing things here, both in that intro and then in the chorus. I mean, there was just this build. You can totally tell the crescendo. It came in strong, but then the chorus, that hook, to me, I liked that even more. So it just got better and better and better, which was exciting and fun to experience. And the way that hook from the beginning, from the introduction, was then reused, but slightly different in the bridge, was amazing as well. Very creative, especially because they brought in, I don't know if he sang an octave lower or if they brought in some bass. I have to listen to it again. But it added this element of darkness, seriousness, mysteriousness in the bridge that really created dynamics. But it still had those undertones, those notes from the introduction, from the hook in the introduction. And it created this full circle composition in my mind. And the lyrics, also really interesting, because he's singing about coming out of the shadows. And let me go back to the lyrics. Coming out of the shadows, we'll be coming home, okay? Which is is awesome. It makes me think of legendary movies like The Lord of the Rings, where you're going through battle, you're going through hardships, you're coming out of the shadows, out of the hardest part of your journey, and you're coming home. And when you have a place to call home, be it a person or a place, that's something that's beautiful because that means safety, it means peace, and you're coming home victoriously. We're not alone. Also, very catchy and very powerful phrase, right? It creates this sense from a psychological standpoint. It creates the sense of unity. The way they were singing this at times in unison and then in harmonies, it created this chant like, yeah, feeling of unison to say, we're coming home out of the shadows. We are not alone. It's not just, hey, you're not alone or I'm not alone. We are not alone. Even using that type of expression, that terminology creates this idea of unison and inclusivity. And it's empowering. It's like a chant. It's like a championship chant. I could totally see this, by the way, playing at some dope, either like some big soccer game or some type of sports game where you want to get that champion feel, get people hyped, or in some type of movie. Um, it's amazing. This is really good. I love exploring, finding, and thanks to you guys, finding artists and bands that are way underrated, that don't have nearly as many subscribers or views as they should. But it's exciting because it's like, yeah, I get to explore this, and I'm hoping you guys will come with me and go support them and check it out. Okay. And so let's look at some of the lyrics. Every night, it's just a different story. What does he say? Out of the shadows, we'll be coming home. We're walking alone. Every night, it's just a different story. Just to tear things down, setting fire to your silver throne, found the keys to the kingdom just to lock you out. Okay, so that's interesting too, because setting fire to things, just generally speaking, setting fire to a throne and trying to find the keys to a kingdom, also again fitting to this idea of Lord of the Rings in my mind, is this idea, and this is just my interpretation. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. What does it mean to you? When we're talking about life, yeah, that human experience, there's different ways to paint that picture. We use different metaphors and analogies. We use poetry to communicate through song. And when I'm thinking of a life and that human experience we all have, we're all trying to build a kingdom, right? There are scriptures, religious texts that may say something about seek first the kingdom of God, right? This idea of first pursue God, focus on your faith first, everything else will fall into place. You may have philosophical concepts or psychological concepts that encourage people to build their kingdom in the sense of finding ways to be mentally whole, physically whole, right? We find that in science, different scientific approaches that attempt at building things, at understanding how the world works, because we're trying to build our kingdom. We're trying to establish ourselves on this earth as people, trying to understand ourselves within ourselves, the way we relate to ourselves, right? Our mortality, our spirituality, right? The way we relate to the things beyond our comprehension, like God or the universe, the way we relate to each other in relationship and the world around us, our place in this world. And as we are part of this system, as we're part of this earth in our experience existentially, we're trying to build a kingdom. We're trying to establish ourselves. But a lot of times our daily reality is more that we're building someone else's, right? We may work for someone and we're working our 9 to 5s, trying to make ends meet for somebody else. We may be in a relationship where it feels like the other person is the king or queen on the throne. We may have experienced trauma and suffering, also a very real part of human experience, where that king or queen, be it a parent, be it a loved one, tore things down in our lives, or there was perhaps toxic elements of a relationship where the idea of a throne is a negative one to us, perhaps because people abused their position of power. Again, maybe a parent or a guardian or a loved one, right? In a romantic relationship or in a friendship, people that we love, they have an element of power over us because we give them our heart and our trust. So there's so many ways we can look at this when I think of kingdom and throne. But it's a powerful picture that I think is relatable to everyone because that's part of our human experience. Burning that throne, also this idea to me of, or burning something and unlocking things, unlocking a kingdom, burning a throne, to me also implies this idea of rebellion and of I'm going to fight. Whatever that might look like, fighting the system, fighting the mundane, fighting something that's unhealthy in our lives, breaking free. Living a different story this time, no doubt. I'm down to see more clearly. One by one will take you home when I finally break this glass sky. When you break through a glass sky is usually a ceiling, right? It's this sky, but it's made out of glass. It's your ceiling. And it's holding you back. You're not under the free sky. You can't breathe fresh air. So as beautiful as it may look, and as clear as it may be, if you've cleaned the windows recently, it's still it's still a limit. It's still a ceiling. And the expression "the sky is your limit" would imply that you can go as high as possible, right? But when you have a glass sky, there's a ceiling, and it's an illusion. You think you can go up there, but bam, you're gonna bang against the window, and things need to come breaking down. Things need to come crushing down. So when I think of glass ceilings, it makes me think of different things that, again, human experience we have working for someone, a king, right? The boss, the employer, that ceiling that holds us back, looking up, having our own dreams and aspirations, but we're so busy just going through the motion. Again, it could be a relational thing, right? People we put on pedestals and on thrones in our life who we strive to be in relationship with. And when that's not going right, perhaps this desire for that to break. This could really apply to any type of human hardship where that ceiling is what's holding you back, where you experience the illusion of thinking you can see up, but it's actually a boundary, it's a limit. And so breaking that glass sky to me, I feel like implies breaking free. And it's fitting to that. Again, glass often being clear and see-through, transparent. Here, that transparent rain falling down. And it almost looks like glass is falling on them as that rain is pouring down. I mean, obviously, they couldn't do it with real glass. That would probably be really, really dangerous and painful. So using water here, which is clear, and then just seeing it fall on them like a glass sky would look like if it crumbled is pretty dope. Coming out of the shadows will be coming home. The flood keeps rising. Got it ringing in my ears, so sick of it sounding the same. All eyes on the same old road. See, again, that lingo, it really makes me think, is this concept here maybe breaking free from the mundane? We're going through the motion. We're living the 9 to 5. We're working for another kingdom. We are just miserable, right? We're tired of that same sound. And it's kind of fitting to what they're doing musically here because they are creating something new. They are tapping into some of the 80s, but they're bringing something fresh. So it's awesome to be singing about wanting to break free and wanting to do something new, being tired of the old, and bringing a music genre and a feeling here that, at least for me, makes me think of something fresh and new. And it's liberating psychologically, right? That's why we really love reaction videos because it, as I learned so wonderfully from NeuroGal MD, check out her YouTube, also a reaction channel, all from the perspective of neuroscience and neurology. But what I've learned from her is that it triggers those mirror neurons in our mind. When we watch someone else experience something and we get that similar sensation, you might see me excited, and now you start feeling excited. I hear you laugh, I have to start laughing. And so seeing these guys experience music, create their art, the glass shattering through the rain, chanting, "We are not alone. We're going to break free." Later on, he then says, "It's time for I've been lost, living a different story. This time, no doubt, I'm going to see more clearly. One by one, we'll take you home." Yeah, this is totally this victory chant. I could see this also being this track for like a concept of rebellion, rebelling against the system, rebelling against, people breaking free, people coming together saying we're done, right? Imagine a group of people in a corrupt company saying enough. One by one, we're going to go home. Or just standing up for anything, standing up for things that are maybe just and right, or against a system, against that glass sky, that ceiling that is holding you back, this illusion that makes you think you can actually see and breathe and reach, but you can't because it's a boundary, it's a ceiling. And instead saying we're going to break it and it all comes crumbling down. It's this victory chant. Honestly, to me, it's empowering, and I think it's well written and an amazing musical composition. But I think it's well written because it allows people to take this and translate it into their own lives. For the various reasons I just listed, breaking free from something toxic, breaking free from a cycle, breaking free from what we often in our human experience find, which is going through the mundane, the same story all the time, but realizing this precious life we've been given, we're not maxing out on, we're not really savoring an experience. And then by the time we know it, it's time to die. So it's empowering. It's this chant of, yes, I'm going to break free. I'm going to see that glass sky crumble. And we're not alone. We're coming together. This is not just me trying to break free from the mundane. This is not just me trying to find freedom and victory, but it's us. We're not alone. We're in this together. You're not alone. Your human experience, the things you struggle with in your existence, whatever that may be for you, you are not alone. We're all going to break free. We're going to figure this out. It's empowering. Like I said, this could be so amazing for like a soccer game, blasting on speakers, or some type of movie where the concept, the message really needs to be one of victory and breaking free. This was epic. Again, you never know what you're going to get with suggestions, but I really think that these guys killed it. And they brought something really fresh that I haven't really experienced yet, that we haven't experienced on this channel. So make sure to go check out Collateral, subscribe over there and here. Listen to this song, not just through this channel, but please listen to their song, Glass Sky by Collateral, on their YouTube channel so you can get their numbers up and drive traffic to them. I appreciate you checking this out with me today. What did you think? It's your turn. Go ham in the comment section. Tell me what it makes you feel, what it makes you think. I know many of you appreciate good rock, so I have a feeling this is perfect for you. So let me know what you think about this one and have fun. And I'll see you on the next ride. Ayo!